This is part one of a two-part video.
Welcome to my channel. Here I talk about vintage toy trains, real trains, vintage vehicles and buildings, beautiful natural places, and of course some boating and fishing. If you like this type of content, please remember to subscribe. Thank you very much.
Well, here's kind of an interesting piece that I started taking apart already. I thought I'd get it apart and kind of see what I was getting into before I started filming, but it's a Lionel post-war 671 turbine, and I've never seen this configuration before. I don't know what this is. This is one of those ones where it had the tender has the radio control or electronic control whistle, but the E unit sits sideways like so. There's the motor. Here's the roller pickups, and there's nowhere to connect the power wire to this pickup assembly. So what you do is, which the part is missing, there's a part that kind of fits in this little indentation here. Of course, it has insulated pieces, insulated plastic to go on either side so it doesn't ground to the chassis. And then this tab sits in here and goes straight up. I guess, for lack of a better way of demonstrating, like this, somehow through the die-cast frame of the engine, and that's where you connect the power wire. So I'm going to have to fabricate something, somehow get a wire in here, and then use these plastic pieces, these insulated pieces. This one's already broken, so I'm going to have to make a new one. And then just by pressure, when you bolt this back onto the bottom of the chassis, the pressure connects the wire. No screw, no solder, just the two screws in here bolt to the underside of this chassis, like so. And then somehow this insulated, not insulated, but this tab is what connects the power. As a matter of fact, I think I have a picture of it in here, in Greenberg's. Let's see if I can find it real quick. So here's the piece that's missing. The collector terminal, 671-200. Somehow that gets squeezed between the collecting assembly and the chassis of the engine with these collector insulation on either side. And then you connect the wire up here, right there. So I don't have that here. I don't have this here, this insulating sleeve. It's just an odd thing. It's just an odd engine. I've been working on steam engines, Lionel post-war steam engines for 30 years. I've never seen this engine. I've never come across this. So, and then here's the oddball tender with some sort of electronic whistle controller. There's like transistors and stuff inside here. I looked it up. It's a receiver, electronic control receiver. And there's another one here on the inside of the tender. And somehow that works the whistle. And then you take this plug here from the tender, and that goes into the back to this one here. To this one here. Goes right into there. See that? Precision motor. So, I got it to run on the bench without the collector assembly, which is going to have to somehow... Let me move this tender out of the way so we can look at it one more time. Here's the insulation pieces. So somehow this collector assembly has to go up underneath the chassis here, like so. And then that that little piece that's missing goes through this slot. It gets squeezed between, just by pressure, squeezed between the collector assembly and the body. It goes up through this slot. Let's see if I can see the other side here. Up through that area here, and that's how you get the power from the track. So I don't know if I'm gonna, well, I'll see if I can get those parts from Jeff. In the meantime, this is one odd duck. Even the E unit sits sideways when it's all reassembled, and I don't see any adjuster level lever. It does work though, the E unit. So we'll try and get this thing back together. Again, I have no idea what this must be. Something to do with the light and or smoke. It looks like the light goes in there because there's a lens. There's the power. I don't know what all this stuff is. I don't know what all this stuff is. This must make the smoke. Yeah, it must be smoke because there's an insulating washer around the smokestack in there. Okay, well, first things first, make a list of parts and email Jeff and see if he has them. If not, I'm going to have to start fabricating stuff. All right, we'll see you again. This is just part 1 of a 2-part video. Stay tuned for part 2. Thanks for watching.